Imran?
Yes, we have one big announcement, and that is our contest, our final contest, that is International Speech Contest, will going to be on 1st of Jan, Sunday, 1st of Jan, 2023. That is on Sunday, and you all are requested to please join us. This contest is a hybrid contest. So those who would like to deliver the speeches online, they can deliver their speech online, and those who would like to deliver the speech at Beach Luxury Hotel, they are most welcome. So bring your friends and family members to the contest so that we can all enjoy this wonderful, exciting event. This is one of the biggest event, and the winner of this contest, the winner, we will send the video of the winner's speech. So uh, start practicing as much as possible. Over to you, Toastmaster Eba.
Okay. We all know him as a sorry. We all know him as a very eloquent and a very dedicated and a very dynamic speaker. He's none other than DTM Sarfaraz Nadeem. So over to you, DTM Sarfaraz.
Thank you, Toastmaster Iba Khan. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, the first meeting of KTC in 2022 was held on January 5th. I was the Toastmaster of the day at that meeting, and today it is the last meeting of 2022. And once again, it is my honor to be your Toastmaster of the day. The theme of the meeting is Festivus, which simply means to celebrate the holiday without all the bells and whistles. This Festivus was made popular by Seinfeld through the comedy television show. And that reminds me, over the past few days, I've heard some KTC members asking the question, I'm not funny. How do I add humor to my speeches? Just watch some of the speeches and see how did the speaker use humor. I have shown in some of my presentations a short video clip from my speech in the International Speech Contest. Toastmaster Imran Rana has seen it. I will post it later on today. What I want you to do is look at that video clip, see where the audience laughs, and then ask yourself, why did the audience laugh? That will tell you what you can do to add humor to your speech. Because you will notice in that video clip, there are no jokes, no comedy routine, just a slight twist on words. Before we move into our 3 segments of the meeting, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our facilitators or helpers who are going to help us conduct this meeting in an effective manner. Our first facilitator is our grammarian, who is also the word master of the day, Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar. Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar, please briefly tell us your role for today's meeting.
Thank you, DTM Sarfaraz Nazir, Toastmaster of the evening. As a grammarian, I will note down the good usage of English sentences, phrase, and verbs, and I also try to pinpoint not good usage of the grammar. And in the end of the meeting, when I will be called, I will submit my report in the meeting. Second role as a word of the day is the Word is ergo, E-R-G-O. DTM Safraz Nazir also written it over there, E-R-G-O. Ergo, I mean therefore. Let me use it in a sentence. Change from within will take too long. Ergo, change must come from the outside. Therefore is the meaning of ergo. Try to use this word ergo in your speech as much as possible. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar. Since I am the Toastmaster of the day, ergo, I am going to introduce the next facilitator, our timer, Toastmaster Imran Rana. Please let us know what you will be doing as the timer.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, my role is to make sure that the meeting proceedings are on time, although we started late. Okay, so all those who are speaking today, all you are requested either to pin the timer screen, or you will be, if you request it, you will be spotlighted. Okay, if the speech is from 5 to 7 minutes, unfortunately, I did not download the color backgrounds, so I'll do that hopefully very soon. So at 5 minutes, my virtual background turns into green, which I will show it later. At 6 minutes, my virtual background turn into yellow, and at 7 minutes, my virtual background turns into red. This means that this red color means that the speaker will have 30 seconds left to wrap up his or her speech. After that, he or she will be disqualified from voting. If for table topics, the speaker has to speak for about 1 minute to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. At 1 minute, the virtual background turn into green. At 1.5, the virtual background turns into yellow. At 2 minutes, the virtual background turns into red. So when it turns into red, this means that the speaker will be left with 30 seconds to wrap up his or her speech. And for speech evaluation, the speech evaluation timings are from 2 minutes to 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At 2 minutes, the virtual background turns into green. At 2.5 minutes, the virtual background turns into yellow. And at 3 minutes, the virtual background turns into red. Now, this red color means the speaker will be left with 30 seconds to complete his or her evaluation. After that, he or she will be disqualified from voting. So it is requested to every speaker to please follow the timeline so that we can end our meeting within time. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Imran Rana. Our next facilitator is listener, TM Wase Ahmed, and I'm not sure if he's online or not.
You can explain the role. He'll be joining.
Okay.
A little late.
To communicate effectively, not only we have to speak where the listener can understand, we must also have the ability to listen effectively so we can understand what the other person or other party is saying. So the listener during the meeting will pay attention to some of the things that are relayed to us through their speeches. And he will make a note of it towards the end of the meeting. When he's called upon to give his report, he'll ask some questions to see if we remember what the speaker has said. So in other words, it's like a test. When you hear a speech, make sure you listen to every word that is said, because you don't know what the listener might ask. And our next facilitator is the joke master. And I'm not sure if Toastmaster Mufaddal.
The joke master is also on his way to home.
Okay, so that is the joke. He's on his way.
Yes, but you can ask if anyone voluntarily step in.
Okay, that's great. Just raise your hand if you would like to tell a joke. No one? No one is. I guess I was going to say it's too early in the morning, but it's not too early. In the morning, it's almost nighttime. Toastmaster Hiba Khan, would you like to tell us a joke? Even if it's the one from 1 year ago? Because most of us have forgotten by now.
I am not searched upon those jokes right now. I do not have any jokes with me.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I heard Toastmaster Imran Rana say that we are starting the meeting late. No, the meeting is not starting late. It's on time. The 6:30 is just a reference. It does not mean anything in Karachi Toastmasters. If we start the meeting at 7, it is on time. So we are going to modify our agenda a little bit. Instead of going with prepared speeches, then table topics, then evaluations, we are going to start with table topics. Our table talks master is, and before I introduce him, let me tell you why we're changing the order, because a couple of our speakers are not here yet. So instead of changing the speaking order and not knowing whether they are joining us or not, we'll go to table topics. Our table topics master, it is my honor to present to you Toastmaster Alvin Faraz.
Thank you so much for this wonderful power-packed introduction, TTM Safraz. It's always an honor to be here in this position, and this is, in fact, my first time. So if I make any mistakes, apologies in advance. Before I begin, would you be kind enough to tell me if you can see me properly and hear me as well?
Oh yes, we can hear you very good. We can also see.
All right, that's fine. So, how many topics? How many table topics can we organize today? As we have already started late.
The 5, according to the agenda of 5.
Okay, all right,
5.
all right. Okay,
And, so you can
we? Yes, go on, please.
Yeah, so I was going to say you can call upon those who are in the meeting who have no role at all, and if there are not enough people without any roles, then you'll go to those who have minor roles, like the facilitator role.
I volunteer to be a first speaker.
Sure. Thank you so much for this. So the first person that I saw who raised his hand is ET. I believe that you would want to become the first table topic speaker. Yep. All right. So we have got the first person, and let me just give you the table topic. Since we are celebrating festivals today, festivals is the theme of the meeting. So I would like to start with that. So my topic for you, sir, is that if you get the chance to meet one holiday character, one holiday themed character, which character would you like to meet and why? For instance, you can choose to meet Santa, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, Cupid. You can have the theme from Mother's Day or the Father's Day. So let me repeat the topic one more time. If you get a chance to meet one holiday character, which holiday character would you meet and why? So whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'll start. Yeah, I'm ready here. And okay, am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Okay, I start. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Toastmaster, here comes my favorite holiday theme character, the snowman. Yes, I love the snowman in Frozen, Olaf, because he is so cute. He has the carrot here. We know it, like, if you have the stick and carrot method to motivate your employee or your team, this is the carrot that you are seeking for. And because I'm also wearing glasses, this snowman is definitely familiar with me. He is used the glasses, ergo. I love the eyes also. The eyes is blue. I'm not blue. I have black eyes. And I love wearing capes or wearing scarf here. year ago because it is not really cold here in Indonesia. It is sometimes very hot, sometimes it is raining. So I didn't have the chance to use the scarf. So I would like to see the Olaf the snowman to wear this. And also the hat. The hat is definitely one of the most unique because it is only can be used during the snow season. And I was saying that in Indonesia we have no snowy season or winter season. So yes, this is the character that I would like to to meet at. So I would like to ask Olaf from Frozen, the snowman, to give me an autograph because he has no hands. I want to know how he can write down the autograph for me. And yes, I love the white color. It is so pure, and also I love this round. It is chubby chick like me. So yes, Olaf, the snowman. It's good to see you here in the holiday season. So back to you, Alvin. Thank you.
Brilliantly done, very nicely done. Love the enhancement that you used there. Technology very well done, and I could not even recognize who's the snowman and whose is the real ET. Very nicely done. So the next one, I would like to have two people here. The first
Kumar.
one,
Kumar,
okay, sure. So we have Toastmaster Kumar, and I would love to have another lady as the next table topic speaker. Can we have some volunteers from the feminine side? Okay, so we have Lydia Norman. All right. So can we have both of you? Can you switch on the cameras, please? All right, perfect. Very nice to see you both. So the topic here is, we all know that Mother's Day is a very, very important holiday that we celebrate. And on the other side, we have the Father's Day, right? But I will give you this topic with a twist. Lydia, you will be representing and defending the Father's Day. And TM Kumar is going to represent and support the Mother's Day. Over to you. Whenever you are ready, one person defends the Father's Day, the other one defends the Mother's Day, and the roles, the genders have been interchanged. Over to you. So ladies first, I believe. Let's go with the ladies.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. I believe that Father's Day is very important because without fathers, there would be no fathers, because it takes a man to make a baby. And as being a daddy's girl myself, I am very close to my father. So I think Father's Day is the best day to celebrate the men who basically make us be here.
TM Kumar, it's time for the rebuttal.
so I have to talk about Mother's Day. Mother's Day is very important for me because the love of a mother cannot be found anywhere in the world except from a mother to a child. Even a foster master, a godmother cannot replace the mother. So mother's love is very important. They say without a father, there is no mothers. But don't forget, without mothers, there won't be a father either. So there must be a father somewhere, unknown or known, or whatever you call. I wouldn't want to mention names. But the most important thing is Mother's Day. Behind the success of every leader or well-known man is a woman, they say. And then you may tell me, behind the failure, no, it's behind the failure is a woman, yes. But behind the success is also a woman. And that woman is the mother. The mother motivates the leader in such a way that the other women, they say, is downfall, like Macbeth, Cleopatra, Antony Cleopatra. Whatever it is said, the woman who is behind the success is the mother. That is what I wish to say.
One thing I'd like to add about
If you think, Pare, well, hello?
one thing I'd like to add is that it's actually a proven fact that children who have a father in the household actually turned out to be more successful and better contributors to society. So fathers are also very important. So that is why Father's Day is a great day to celebrate our fathers.
If you talk of that, it is the father who runs after all the women in the world and makes the mother sad. It's not the mother, it's the father. So don't talk about the father. The fathers are useless. I may be a man, yes, but nevertheless, it's the mother who brings up the child, motivates the child, guides the child. And then when the child becomes a father, all is gone. Back to you.
What a wonderful discussion that was. You both did your part very nicely, amazingly defended topics. Great job. Now, for the next one, I need someone who is a die-hard cricket fan. Can we have some volunteers? A die-hard cricket fan. Can you raise your hands, please?
I don't know what a cricket bat looks like.
TM Asghar, what about you?
Well, I used to be a diehard cricket fan in late 80s and early 90s. By God, I even don't know the Pakistani captain right now. So, I
Right.
mean, if you force me to speak something, I'm at your disposal.
Let's have you, sir. It will be more than an honor to have you as a table topic speaker. And someone from the football side, please. Someone who is in love with the football. Can we have someone? No? Okay, I'm going to use my powers and decide this, give this power to someone. You are a diehard fan, and I am going to call upon TM Umair Ahmad. Sir, I've just made you a diehard football fan.
Okay.
All right. So what we're going to do here today, we are all familiar with the aggression that comes with the sports fans. You know, they defend their teams and they defend their sport. So there has been a continuous argument that FIFA is a bigger sport or football is a bigger sport as compared to cricket, or is it the other way around? So TM Asghar, I would like to assign the role of Cricket Chacha to you, who is very famous, very much visible in the cricket matches of Pakistan. So he dresses up completely in the Pakistani flag. So you are playing that character, and the TM Umair, you are football uncle. So Cricket Chacha versus football uncle, I want a deep heated argument. I want aggression as the sport is. You have to tell us why cricket is better than football or vice versa. Over to you, gentlemen.
Well, thank you very much. I think I've always been supporting cricket. I have never watched football team till this day, and the only thing I know is that the Argentina has been led by someone called Messi, and my 13 years old child told me so. But I am not a fan of football. Why? Number one, because we inherited so many things from our colonial past. We inherited railway station. We inherited a strong military. We inherited a country infrastructure. of a country. We inherited telecommunication system. We inherited education system. I think there is no harm to take cricket from them. On the other hand, just go and have a sort of survey, and I think the per capita income of those countries who do not have a cricket are greater than those who are playing cricket, except England. And England, being historically a powerful country, a country which ruled most of the part of the world for over a centuries, it comes from such a country. It means it carries the prestige of that scale. So for the sake of historical memory, for the sake of historical prestige, I think it should be cricket when it comes to the South Asia and Africa. If African are not playing cricket, they are doing at their own peril, because they are forgetting their past. They have to adopt and cherish their historical memory rather than going to the Saudi Arab and Qatar route. This is what I have to say. Over to you, Omer.
Well, I have some other thoughts, I think. Football is one of the biggest events right now, and we have witnessed it recently in Qatar 2023. 2022, the exceptional matches, huge matches, very big matches, and most competitive matches we have seen in a recent time. And so, and obviously, most of the countries and most of the people love football than the cricket. Cricket is very much one-sided match. If you win a toss, you are probably the winner of the match, because it all depends on the winning of toss. So the cricket is totally ridiculous. You have to just run around for many hours and just you are exhausted. And then if you are playing second, then it all depends on the pitch. If pitch is not working well, you are lost. So I think the football is one of the best play, and it is being watched by millions of people around the world. So I believe the football is the best right now, and it generates obviously huge amount for the investors. So I think football is the best.
Okay, so since the red flash is not there, let me conclude it by this way, that why I don't like football: it's too expensive. I mean, people pouring a lot of money over it. Add this amount of money be spent on the world poor, I think we would have eradicated poverty at least 20% on the surface of the earth, had there not been the expenditure had not been made on football. This is my thought, and I need your concluding thought before the red card flashes in the timer's box. Omer?
Well, I think no, I'm not a fan of it, because, well, football is one of the best play, and I think it is generating millions of dollars and pounds, and it is generating a huge amount for people around the world. And obviously, if you see Messi and all these people, they are spending on people, and they have created some great NGOs for poor people. So I think it is also helping around the world.
Okay, but Omer, ultimately you have to agree with me. I have a pistol with me, I'm telling you. Over to you, table topic speaker.
Very nicely done. I saw the aggression that was required in this particular topic. Plus, you backed up all the arguments with concrete data and stats. That was just brilliant. Both the parties were very amazing, very nice, very aggressive, and to the point. So for the next one, I need a volunteer, and I promise it's not going to be a debate. You don't have to fight anyone, just one person. Who would like to step up? Can we see anyone in the chat, or someone can raise your hand? People can raise their hand.
You have already called 5 speakers.
Okay, all right. So let's put your hands together for TM Urusa Kamal. I believe I have one more speaker after this.
Yes, this will be the last speaker.
This will be the last one. Okay, all right. So, Ms. Urusa, do we have you?
Yes.
All right, perfect, perfectly done. Okay, so I have decided to give you a superpower one more time. Okay, So your superpower is, would you mind telling us your date of birth?
Why?
Just the date. That's it. I'm not interested in the year.
16 September.
All right. So 16 September, you have the superpower to create a festival. All right. You can create your own festival on this particular day, on the date of your birth, and you have to tell us what that festival is going to look like. What are people going to eat in that particular day? What are we going to celebrate? Everything. Give us all the details. Spare no detail, as the devil is in the detail. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Table Topic Master. So finally, I've been given this wonderful power to create my own festival, one day that is dedicated to my whims. So let me tell you something. I really had this, this wish that there could be one day that could run around me, around my ideas when I was a child, when I was very young. And that day, I just wanted everything to be free. I wouldn't have to pay money for anything, or anyone wouldn't have to pay money for anything. And they could do anything. I mean, they could go shop, they could go eat, they could buy new things, anything, but everything would be free. And this is how I imagined it. We could go to different bazaars and souks, and we could just go pick things up and come back. But then, as I imagined it further, as I grew around it, my ideas grew around it, I just wondered what would happen if everyone decided to go and buy free stuff. Like, we would be fighting over things. It's just like the Black Friday, right? It's just prices coming down and people are fighting over things. So then I was like, okay, maybe we can shorten it to maybe a few hours or maybe 5 hours. So we can just take this thing shorter. But this was a crazy idea I had, a festival thing I had, that everything should be free. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Very nicely done. And when you were speaking, when you were giving us the description of this particular day, you were able to take us with you to that particular journey, to that particular scene. Very descriptive, very nice. So I believe this is the last table topic speaker that I could call upon. Since we are running low on time, ergo we have to get back to the prepared speeches. Very nicely done, everyone. Over to you, sir. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Alvin Faraz. Mr. Timer, Toastmaster Imran, did all Table Topic speakers qualify on time?
Yes, all the speakers are qualified. The poll will be shared shortly, so you may move on to the prepared speech session.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Toastmaster Alvin, when you asked Toastmaster Arusa about the date of birth, I was about to say that a gentleman never asks the female what her age is, but you corrected yourself by saying, oh, just the date, don't tell me about the year. Nicely done. That concludes our table topic session. We now move on to our prepared speeches. Most of the speakers are on board. Our first speaker is Toastmaster Abdullah Yusuf, who is giving an icebreaker speech. All speeches are 5 to 7 minutes, except the icebreaker speech, which is 4 to 6 minutes. The speech to be given by Abdullah Yusuf will be evaluated by Toastmaster Hiba Rais Khan, who is also the club president. Toastmaster Hiba, please tell us the objectives of the speech that will be given by Toastmaster Abdullah Yusuf.
PM Abdullah Yusuf is giving a speech which is usually with icebreaker, and the duration of the speech is 4 to 6 minutes. The objective of the speech is, there's only one objective. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Over to TM Abdullah.
Toastmaster Abdullah.
Welcome everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Toastmaster Abdullah, can you tell us the title of your speech? Is there a title for it? or just an icebreaker?
You can call it Who Am I?
Toastmaster Abdullah Yusuf, who am I? Who am I? Toastmaster Abdullah Yusuf.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I am Abdullah Yusuf, and I'm an electrical engineer by profession. I did my electrical engineering from NUS Karachi campus back in 2017. There, I got the opportunity to work on many different and interesting projects. But the biggest opportunity I got was to be part of the team that built Pakistan's first Formula electric racing car. It was also at NUS that I met my wife. And some of you might know that NUS Karachi campus is just adjacent to Karsas. So you can say that she's my real life Karsas wali dulan. After I joined K Electric, after graduation, I joined K Electric. My current job role is commissioning and maintenance of 11,000 volt network. What you guys might know as PMDs and substations. Till now, my journey at K Electric has been quite fulfilling because I can get real-time feedback of my impact. If I'm doing a good job, then I can see it in terms of reduced counts and duration of outages. And if I'm doing a bad job, I can see it on newspapers and news channels. In my free time, I like to watch TV shows and movies, and I also like to try new flavors. Believe it or not, a few years ago, I weighed just 50 kg. But now, due to recently awakened love for food, I am on the edge of being overweight, especially after getting married. Now, my wife and I have a list of places we have tried and a long to-do list of places we want to go to try new restaurants. Ergo, if you want any suggestions for a new restaurant, you're more than welcome to contact me. If I didn't have to worry about managing my expenses, I would have traveled all the time. But till now, I have only been able to travel to Quetta, northern areas, and some other cities of Punjab. As for my family, my father is an accountant and my mother is a housewife. I have a younger brother who is currently living in UK, and my Kasad Wali Dulan has also moved to UK 3 months ago on same scholarship as my brother did. After I tell someone about these general things, sometimes I guess where do I belong to or what's my caste? Now, this question has been a very puzzling one for me because I simply don't know my caste. I've asked my father, I even asked my uncles and aunties, and either they didn't know or gave different answers. Then they asked, well, you must be from somewhere, either you're from any province or you're Urdu speaking Mahajar. Culturally, I feel closest to being Punjabi. I heard my grandparents speak Punjabi, and our rituals and wedding celebrations are done like in Punjab. But my last ancestor to properly live in Punjab was my great grandfather. During British rule, he had to migrate to into Indonesia. There, my grandfather married an Indonesian girl, and all my siblings of my father were born in Indonesia. So I could technically say that my background is from Indonesia. We do call fried rice nasi goreng, and we love to eat sambal and gada gada. Elios might get the taste of those dishes. So, one of my uncles is still living in Indonesia. And I remember once my dadi scolded me for playing Pokemon cards because Pokemon is a swear word in Indonesia. In early 1960s, my grandfather had to migrate to Karachi, where my father was born. Since then, we have lived in Karachi. Now, I can't speak Indonesian, I can't speak Punjabi. My mother tongue, I would call it's Urdu. And since then, we have been living in Karachi. So I might as well call myself Urdu speaking Mahajar. I could just say that I'm a Punjabi or a Mahajar and call it a day. But I always felt a little uneasy in putting my identity in one box. Then 2 years ago, I read a book, Pakistan, A Hard Country, and it started to make sense that not only I don't have an identity crisis, but also that I was right in not putting a label on my identity. Today, I'm a little short on time, but inshallah, soon I would love to dive deeper on this idea and share my thoughts on it. So this was the gist of who is Abdullah Yusuf, who am I? And I'm a new member of Toastmasters, and I'm looking forward to have an exciting journey with you all guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abdullah Yusuf. It is our tradition when a new Toastmaster gives an icebreaker, we give them a standing ovation. So if you're lying down, please sit up. If you're sitting, please stand in honor of our icebreaker speech. Thank you, Toastmaster Abdullah Yusuf. We look forward to more speeches from you. The next project is Write a Speech with Purpose. And I'm sure either Toastmaster Imran Rana or Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid will contact you soon to see when you want to give your speech. Oh, yes, the next meeting is 1 week from today, so you have 7 days to prepare your next speech. Our second speaker is Toastmaster Sampa Akhtar and Toastmaster Rusa Kambol will be evaluating her speech. Toastmaster Rusa, please tell us the objectives of the speech to be given by Toastmaster Sampa.
Thank you so much, DT and Sarfraz. Toastmaster Sampa is giving her second speech from her project evaluation and feedback. The purpose of this speech is for her to demonstrate that she has applied the feedback received from her first speech. The speech length is 5 to 7 minutes, and I have received the feedback that she got from her first speech. The title of her speech is Global Inclusion, the Power of Abilities and Disabilities. Over to you, Toastmaster Sampa.
Marlon has been a police officer for 22 years, 11 of which he has been completely blind. Most visually impaired people have at least partial vision. Until Marlon, I had never met a totally blind police officer. Marlon commutes to his work daily, taking 3 taxis to get to his office, where he trains other cops to do criminal analysis. Marlon absolutely loves his job and is more dedicated than most as he wears his police badge with the pride. He has never seen his badge though. He can't. Marlon is a content human being living with a disability in a third world country. He lives on the island of Trinidad in the Caribbean. He gives the best of himself every single day in service to his country's national security. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, wouldn't it be amazing to have a qualified and dedicated employee like Marlon? Are you aware that most people with disabilities are just qualified, conscientious, and dedicated as Marlon? Do you believe it's fair and a good business decision to hire people like Marlon? I wouldn't say grateful to be employed. I would make these businesses to be grateful to have such dedicated and qualified employee, not the other way around. With fair accommodation and support, employees with disabilities are ready and willing to give their all to your organization. Some of you might be thinking, I want a qualified, dependable employee like Marlon, but I don't know anything about disability. Things have changed. We now have 6 business liaisons in 6 different regions to guide you. I am Shimpa Akhtar. I represent the Department of Rehabilitation Services, which is located in Oklahoma. I am going to open your eyes to what we can offer you in order to support your employees with disabilities so that you can have a whole bunch of Marlins. I have a colleague named Vicky. Vicky and I considered visually impaired, but we both have different abilities and needs in order to perform optimally at the workplace. You see, sometimes it is difficult to determine what one may need simply by knowing the fact one has a particular disability. It is almost impossible to cater to your consumers or employees with disabilities needs at its face value. For example, I much prefer receiving the documents in an accessible electronic format, while Vicky may just need the same document in a large print. The needs of people with disabilities varies, but you don't have to worry. We can definitely assist you with that. Let me ask you this. Do you include disability in your company's diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is DEI program?
5 minutes passed. It's green color.
I would consider it if I were you. Let's schedule an appointment and talk about this more. Here is your folder, which includes my business card with some brochures on information on services we provide. We will support your company to compile with American with Disabilities Act and also support to grow your business and attract great employees like our good friend Marlon. Yes, we can definitely assist you with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shimpa Akhtar, for your speech. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Alvin Faraz, and his speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar. Toastmaster Asghar, please tell us the objectives of his speech.
DTM Surfraz, if
Yes.
you allow me to. Okay, can we have 30 seconds to cast vote for the best table topics, if you allow?
Oh, yes, that's fine. Please take a moment and vote for the best table topic speaker.
Just a minute, let me launch the poll. I'm sure everyone can see the polls. No?
Mhm.
Can anyone
Yes.
see the polls? Yes, please.
Yes, I see some heads nodding.
So 30 seconds starts now. Okay, so the poll times is over. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Imran Rana. And now back to Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar for the objectives of the speech to be given by Toastmaster Alvin Faraz.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Our next speaker is Alvin Faraz. Alvin Faraz is threading the path of presentation mastery, level 3. The project is Inspire Your Audience. And Alvin Faraz is supposed to deliver a speech that inspire me as evaluator and other Toastmasters who are his audience. Alvin Faraz, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Before I start, am I audible, everyone? Hello, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. So this, please do not start the time right now. Let me just explain something first. So the topic, the objective of the speech is to inspire and persuade people. So I have grown up watching movies like The Grinch, Cat in the Hat, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I went back people, Dr. Seuss and Roald Dahl. So I have tried to do something different. I hope that you like it. So you can start the time, please. Roses are red and violets are blue. My name is Alvin and I got a tale for you. This is a tale of 3 of my friends who could have chosen some positive trends. They lost their way and made some errors, but their mistakes can save us from terrors. So listen to me and listen with care because I have some pearls of wisdom to share. Death is certain, so is the tax. They increase your fear to the level of max. Disappointment in life is so much trouble. Managing it proper is a very big struggle. But we have some elixirs, ointments, and potions. They will give you some courage and protect your emotions. The first one is easy. It is called depression. But let me remind you, it results in regression. By choosing the second, you try to escape. But choosing this method is not that straight. The third choice is simple. Use failure to enhance. The good news is this. It is your best chance. It's not for the faint-hearted. It needs nerves of steel. But this path will lead you to the greatest of deals. So let us move to Adrian, my very first friend, as he used the first tool to get to his end. He felt bad because he lost his promotion. He was so very mad and lost all his notion. He planned to buy all that he admired, but now he was down and felt really tired. Alas, his dreams were so quickly shattered when he didn't get promoted. He felt very battered. Sad, so sad, he wasn't promoted. And his hard work was not even noted. His dear promotion was now very far. He felt so very low, like a fallen star. To deal with this blow, he fell in depression and lost his job, his career, and its career direction. He was always so drunk and felt unhappy. He wished to stay alone because he was snappy. None of the fellows. Now the next fellow is someone who chose to escape. And this friend of mine, everyone is called Jake. He wanted to get admission in a university. He wanted to get into the Yale. And when he got rejected, he went all pale. To handle his pain, he chose drugs and good times. To his family and friends, he said goodbyes. He dealt with his failure in a very strange way. He escaped reality and lost some senses that day. Another friend of mine wanted to be big, and allow me to tell you that he's called Rick. He wanted to be a footballer so bad, but when he wasn't selected, he got so very mad. He got madder and every time football was stated, and was sure to abandon it because of his hatred. This approach was wrong, told his mom, but Rick was so mad he refused to move on. Now let me offer you a way better choice, which will give you success and some poise. We all need to earn, we all need to learn. Failure is something from which we must learn. Ergo, what Adrian, Jay, and Rick failed to follow, it is a bitter pill that we all need to swallow. Failure and disappointment both are friends. How to handle them on us, it depends. We all should always get back on the horse because life shouldn't be wasted on guilt and remorse. Life's disappointment is a double-edged sword. Use it with care to get your reward. It really depends on how this power is used, for good or for evil. Just don't be confused. Now let us consider the path not taken. They could have learned, improved. The whole world would have shaken. There's someone else that I want to discuss. He's a true inspiration for every one of us. He went to a foreign land and conquered it all. He faced really tough times, but always stood tall. DTM Sarfaraz, I'm talking about you. For your efforts and journey, my hat is off to you. You won global forums and many declamations. My God, you're a beauty, the king of communication. Your life is a lesson. You're truly self-made. When life gave you lemons, you made lemonade. You are a true gem. Love the way you discuss. May you live long and teach all of us. Your journey is a lesson for every KTC member. When life gets harder, we must not surrender. We gotta have faith. We have to believe. Everything will be fine. Just don't be naive. Whenever you face failure, do not succumb. Have a little faith, and we shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alvin Faraz. Appreciate it. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Muhammad Aqib. Toastmaster Imran, I don't see Toastmaster Majid Akhtar, who is going to evaluate his speech. Is someone else evaluating it?
Toastmaster Omer Ahmed will evaluate.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Muhammad Aqib. Evaluating his speech, please welcome Toastmaster Omer.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Toastmaster Muhammad Aqib will be delivering his icebreaker to this day. And the purpose of his speech is for the members to introduce introduce him to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Over to you, Aqib.
First of all, I'm on the way to the home, and right now I'm looking for an event. So, noise in my background. Actually, mentioned before the meeting take up the role. This meeting is totally online. My intention is to deliver speech on Zoom. So that is the reason noise in my background.
Aqib, have you started your speech or not?
Yes. Today my speech title is Who I Am. Today I would like to present myself as a Toastmaster member. My name is Muhammad Aqib, and I'm a resident of Karachi, Pakistan by birth. We are 4 brothers and 1 sister in my family. My father has retired and my mother has died. At the time my mother died, I'm only 6 years old. And my mother died since 18 years ago. And my first elder brother is living in UK since last 16 years. My second brother is doing a job as a teacher, and my third brother is doing the online business. And now, the fourth is my sister. She has died before 4 years. She has one daughter. Now I'm presenting to you. I work as an account officer at GMC. Along with this, I am also in the process of fulfilling my degree in commerce at Adana University. This was the professional aspect of information which I shared with you all. As for my personal interest, I love reading, and my favorite book title is Good and Lucky by Abdullah Farhani. And this week I read a book, the title is Rich Dad and Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Also, I love to fact hunt, which is researching the odd and crazy bits of facts and researching on the accuracy of the facts, mostly related to the mythology and the ancient civilization. Today's session is called an icebreaker. Well, I try my level best to break the ice in this session. I really wish I was an extrovert in this session because I believe it would be a piece of cake for an extrovert person to break the ice. My personality is more inclined toward an introvert nature. Introvert nature, which I hope to change by joining the Toastmasters group. And I'm sure with the help and guidance, I will help this person growth. I tried by joining this group. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Muhammad Aqib. Once again, this was an icebreaker speech. Please give a standing ovation to our speaker. Thank you. Our next speaker, Misty, I'm not sure she is online or not. So we will move on to our last speaker, Sarfraz Nazir, evaluating his speech. Please welcome TM Wase Ahmed. TM Wase, please tell us the objectives of Sarfraz's speech.
Good. Okay. Just give me a minute.
Okay, thank you.
DTM Sarfaraz Nazir will be giving his speech from the Pathway Presentation Mastery Level 1 Project 3, Evaluation and Feedback. Okay, it would be his first speech. The title of the speech is Speaker Number 3. Time of the time will be from 5 to 7 minutes. Speaker number 3, Toastmaster Sarfraz Nazir.
It is Saturday, 24th of June, 2000. It's 2 o'clock. I am standing on the stage in the banquet hall at Galvez Hotel in Galveston, along with the Chief Judge and 8 other contestants. We are there for the judges' briefing for the speakers for the Region 3 International Speech Contest, also known as the World Championship of Public Speaking semifinals. When the Chief Judge says it's time to draw for speaking orders, at the time, the random number generator was not used. The Chief Judge had a small pieces of papers, 9 pieces, numbered 1, 2, 3 through 9. And each contestant was to select a piece of paper, and that was going to be his or her speaking order. And then the person would write their name and the title of speech and hand it back to the Chief Judge. In Toastmasters, especially in districts in the United States, there has been a long-standing debate Does the speaking order matter? The judges are told not to pay attention to the speaking order, whether the speaker is 1 or speaker is number 9. But people think that judges are human beings. There has to be some impact. And that's the reason, before going to Galveston for the semifinals, I decided to find out what had happened at the contest during the previous 3 years. I was able to find that information. This was 2000. So I got the speaking order and the speaker's number for the winning speeches for the 3 years, 97, 98, and 99. After analyzing the results, I discovered that speaker number 7 took first place twice. Speaker number 8 took first place once. The lowest speaking number to place in the top 3 was speaker number 5. He took third place once. It was obvious that speaker number 1, speaker number 2, speaker number 3, and speaker number 4 never placed. The handwriting was on the wall. If you're going to win the contest, you've got to be speaker number 7, 8, or maybe 9. When the chief judge started going from speaker to speaker, I was standing next to the chief judge. So I was the last one. I did not have to draw for the speaking order because there was only one piece of paper left, and she handed it to me. I looked at the piece of paper, number 3. I was doomed. I'm not thinking about my speech or the contest. I'm going to think I am not going to be winning if the previous 3 years' results are going to hold. I was not sure what am I going to do? Hey, I couldn't even talk properly. Before we left, the chief judge said, "All right, contestant, you can sit anywhere you want to." But then she changed her mind. She looked around and said, "No, I want all contestants to sit in seat number 3. Everyone left the room. I was still standing on the stage, all alone, wondering, I am speaker number 3. Then I looked at row number 3. Speaker number 3. I got an idea. I ran to the lobby, picked up copies of newspapers, ran back to the conference hall, and put them on seat number 3 in row number 3. Row number 3, seat number 3, speaker number 3. I was ready for the contest. I'm telling you this to tell you what happens in the speaker's mind before the contest. Are they thinking about the speech? No, not me. Now, you all know that I am a Pakistani. The contest was in 2 hours at 5 o'clock. I did not get there before 5. I got there right at 5. So I walk in. The room is full. All seats are taken. There are people standing on both sides of the room. There are people standing at the back of the room. I walk to row number 3. I look. There's a lady sitting in seat number 3. The newspapers that I placed they're on the floor. I looked at her. She was not one of the contestants. Now, I did not mean to yell at her, but by this time, since I was already late and there were too many people and she was sitting in my seat, I got huffy and puffy. I said, "That's my seat." Within a few seconds, she was gone. I did not even notice her getting up and leaving. Then, when the Toastmaster said, "Our next contestant, speaker number 3, Sarfaraz Nazir, drive your dreams. Drive your dreams, Sarfaraz Nazir." I trotted onto the stage with a big smile. I was calm and cool like a cucumber. I was like a duck that you see in a pond. On the surface, that duck is swimming, floating beautifully. What you don't see is underneath the water. She's paddling like crazy. For the next 7 minutes and 20 seconds, I wowed the audience. And then, a few hours later, when the results were announced, the Toastmaster said, the second place winner and the person who represents Region 3 in the World Championship of Public Speaking in Miami, Florida is Sarfaraz Nazir. I realized I could not change the speaking order, but I had the power to change the outcome. And with my speech, I did change the outcome. Speaker number 3 had taken second place in the semifinals. So, fellow Toastmasters, does speaking order matter? I will let you be the judge. Back to you, Toastmaster. Thank you. Once again, I'll see if Misty has joined us. I don't see her. That concludes our prepared speeches. We have completed our prepared speeches section. We've also completed our table topics session. And before we move on to our third and final segment, the evaluations, I'll give a few minutes for the evaluators to prepare their speeches. At this time, I'm going to ask the timer, did all speakers qualify?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Only one speaker, Toastmaster Muhammad Akib. He took 2 minutes to complete his speech, so rest of the speakers are qualified, except
Okay.
Toastmaster Muhammad Akib.
Okay, thank you.
I'm
You will be
sharing the polls.
Okay. Please, as soon as the polls are published, please vote for the best speaker who met his or her objectives. Over the
Everyone
years,
please cast the vote.
yes, the best speaker ballot is available now. Please cast your vote. So we'll give a few seconds for you to cast your vote. Toastmaster Imran, please let me know when 30 seconds are up.
Only 10 seconds left. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Over the years, I've heard Toastmasters say, I'm competing in the international speech contest. What should I talk about? When someone asks me that question, my answer has been, what are you passionate about? Talk about something that you are very passionate about. Now, Dale Carnegie said that what you speak on should be something that you have experienced or something that you have researched. Lately, the question came up again. This time I'm thinking, I'm going to change my answer. This time my answer is, imagine you're lying on your deathbed. You have few hours, few days, or perhaps few weeks to live. You're surrounded by your family members, loved ones, and friends. One of them asks you, do you have a message for us? Do you want to tell us something that will help us succeed? What will you tell them? That should tell you what your topic should be and what your speech message should be. Now we move on to our third segment, the evaluation segment. I'm going to introduce our general evaluator, just Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar. The control of the meeting is back to you, Toastmaster Asghar.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Dear Toastmasters, I'm Toastmaster Asgar, and I will be in charge of the third and last segment of our today's meeting, which is a journal evaluator. So today I'm your journal evaluator in journal evaluation. In journal evaluation segment, we evaluate each other and try to improve, telling our strongest and the areas where we need to improve. First of all, I would like to request the evaluator of our first speaker, Heba Rahis. Are you ready to evaluate your target speaker?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so go ahead to evaluate Toastmaster Abdullah Yusuf, who delivered today's icebreaker speech.
Okay, Toastmaster Abdullah Yusuf, you had an interesting title to your speech, which immediately caught my attention. During the time you spoke, you had good clarity and confidence, and there were no signs of hesitation. You had good eye contact, and I found you constantly looking at the camera. There was good audience awareness, and comfort level as well was there in your speech, and there were no signs of hesitation, nervousness, or any sort of other thing. Sorry. And you had constructed your speech with good, relevant, practical examples which we all could relate to and understand about your life. So it was very interesting, especially about your Indonesian background. And however, there were some areas of improvement which I found in your speech. You could have incorporated vocal variety in your speech to bring more depth and interest and flair. And secondly, you lacked a bit of body gestures, hand and body gestures, which you could have used in your speech to express yourself during the time you spoke. And thirdly, I think you were delivering your speech while sitting, if I'm correct. Seems like so. So you could have delivered your speech while standing. So and made your body a bit more flexible while you were standing. Overall, it was a good effort, and with slight improvements, you could have made it better. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you. Do we have a speech from anyone who entered late and we need to invite him? DTM Sarfraz Nazir, are you sure you haven't missed anyone?
Yeah, we missed one speaker, and she's now online.
Okay, so actually I enacted this drama because I've just observed her over there, and so I don't want to miss a speech. Can we request her or you to describe the objective of her speech? Sarfraz Nazir, you are supposed to be an evaluator.
Thank you.
Norman.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar.
Okay.
Our speaker, Misty Foreman, is following the Presentation Mastery Pathway, Level 2, Effective Body Language. The purpose of her speech is for her to practice using body language to enhance her speech. Toastmaster Misty Foreman, the sound of music. The sound of music, Misty Foreman.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, the sound of music. When we think of music, we tend to think of perhaps something like this. It depends a lot on what culture you grew up in. In the culture I grew up in, this was the sound. The sound of the piano. And not only the sound of the piano, but the experience of the sound of music in more than one way. The piano in my culture looks like this. Black keys, white keys, patterns. But this is a piano from Africa. It is called a thumb piano. It's played, as you might guess, with your thumb. And it is tuned by moving these metal pieces up and down. This is a later version of a thumb piano. This one is now not just a slab of wood, but a box. It's still played with your thumb, but now it has a resonance. And so it's an evolved sound. So what is it about the sound of music? Well, before we spoke in words, we sang. And when we sang, we had musical instruments to go with it. They might have been rattle sounds. They might have been drumming sounds. Maybe they were the sounds that were imitated from the birds. But you are sound. We are vibration. Sound and vibration, those are the same thing in different words. When I learned to play the piano, that was a certain sound. When I worked with dolphins in research, they could make sounds I couldn't imitate whatsoever, but they could imitate my human sounds. And so it turns out that music is everywhere. And at different paces, and there's a part of it that is physical, which I was showing you just a moment ago. But we also have written music. And written music has all these symbols. And one thing it shows you is which hand to play and which note to hit. That's the beginning of a song called Mary Had a Little Lamb. And children sing this song. And as you move up through greater and greater complexity, the music tends to look like this. Many, many notes. And when you're skilled at listening to those notes, you can hear them just by looking at the music. I was a concert pianist at the age of 11, between 10 and 11. But it's a limited ability that you have to communicate with just music. You can move people. You can emotionally engage them. You can take them on a journey with you, but everybody's experience will be very, very different. But when I stopped playing the piano, I learned to speak. And speech is one of the greatest gifts we have as humans. It's our ability to touch each other, to bring us along emotionally together, to take us on a journey by embracing all of us and taking us on the emotional and spiritual journey in addition. But the music is always there. You and I, we are the music. Whether we're speaking or walking in a room or just being in nature, we are the music. And you can play the music out loud or silently anytime. If you don't know how to play the piano, here's a quick lesson. Knuckles, 3 black keys. Plays better down here. And you'll notice something. My piano, because it sits near a window, is slightly off. But still, we have the music. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. Foreman, for your great speech, and thank you for the rest of the Toastmaster for the interruption, because we didn't afford to let Mr. Foreman go without his speech. And let's resume our session. We were evaluating our speeches. Now I would like to invite the second evaluator. The second speech was delivered by Simpa Akhtar. Simpa Akhtar will be evaluated by Toastmaster T.A. Murusa. Kamal, T.A. Murusa, I can see you. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Sampa, you gave a really wonderful speech on how disabled people can be really valuable resources for businesses. You started with Marlin's story. That really got me started and thinking where this speech is going. Then you asked 2 very important questions about the business world. And what I really loved about your speech was when you gave this really funny expression about things have changed with your eyes. And then you also shared about your organization, how it works. Again, you also use some really, valuable lessons in your speech, like it is impossible to cater to the needs of disabled people at face value. All that was really packaged really well. What I would like you to improve in your speech, I wanted to know more how disabled people can be good at regular organizations. Maybe a story would have been a better demonstration of this. I missed the connection between what you said, that was facts, and how it can be applied. So there was a little bit of disconnection there. Maybe adding a story to your speech would be a wonderful addition. Secondly, your feedback from your last speech was about adding more vocal variety and adding pauses. I'd say your pauses were really adequate. I did not feel that you were getting stuck anywhere. However, there is still some room for vocal variety. Apart from the fact when you asked the questions, there was a little bit of change in your vocal variety, but that was it. That was the only point I saw changes. You can add it more, especially when you're starting out. You can change the tonal quality when you're telling the story. That is the time when you can change your vocal variety. All in all, I really loved your speech. I learned how people can be valuable to the organizations. This is something new for me. Over to you, General Evaluator. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rusa Kawal, for your evaluation. Now come to the third speech, and today the third speech was delivered by Elvin Fraz. Elvin Fraz, if he is around, well, okay. The fourth speech from Muhammad Aqib. Muhammad Aqib, because since Toastmaster Majid Akhtar was not there, Muhammad Aqib will be evaluated by Toastmaster Umair, if I'm not wrong. Okay, go ahead, Umair.
Thank you, sir. Muhammad Aqib was delivering his first speech as icebreaker. And unfortunately, he was commuting to home, and because of it, he was not able to talk his and give his speech effectively. Anyway, Muhammad Aqib gave his speech for the first time, and before public, it requires a lot of courage to come at stage, and obviously even face public at online. So it was a great thing that he delivered his speech. Secondly, he also spoke during his commute, and I think he was waiting for some vehicle to get on to his home, and he was not reluctant at that time to give his speech, and worrying about the people and around that what they would be saying that he is delivering his speech during this time. So he was so much courageous to give that speech at that time. Thirdly, I think despite of the fact that he was on commute and he was not comfortable at that time, he kept his commitment and gave his speech, even though he was there, and he might have said or excused about it, but he even though took his time and gave the speech to this at this level. A few points that I want to add here. Firstly, there was a bit of a lack of clarity in his speech because of some background noises that I cannot understand what he was saying, and also I couldn't understand the vocal variety of it. So it was very hard for me to understand the vocal variety and clarity and what he was saying. But even though he was trying to do it, so I have to appreciate that. Thirdly, the eye contact, obviously he was using his small mobile screen. So the eye contact, I couldn't understand the eye contact was there or not. And thirdly, I believe he was reading from his speech. Therefore, the eye contact was not that much effective at that time. Thirdly, I think he was very much comfortable in delivering the speech in that scenario. So his comfort level was amazing, and I think that comfort level gives me the impression that in coming days, I think we will be seeing a great Toastmaster in coming days. Anyway, I will sum up with this that he excelled at his comfort level, and I think he must work on his voice modulation, because his voice firstly was not very much audible, but whatever was audible, it was very flat. So I think he must be using some voice modulation, some ups and downs. And I think he must work on his timing also. He must use the timing to stretch his speech to complete the whole time. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much, and back to you. So your mic is mute, I think.
I'm sorry, it was indeed mute. Our next speaker was Sarfraz Nazir. Sarfraz Nazir will be evaluated by Wase Ahmad. Toastmaster Wase, are you there? Okay, so it is your turn to evaluate Toastmaster Sarfraz Nazir's speech.
Yes, I am here. I'm audible. I hope I am audible to everybody. I am doomed. What am I going to do? That was my reaction when I saw the agenda. And in front of DTM Sarfaraz Nazir's name was mine. I was like, and then I saw the project and I was like, okay, so I have to give feedback to him so he could construct his speech again and give it again. And I was like, where am I stuck now? So coming to the structure of your speech, you gave a narrative speech. You were telling us a story. So your story was vivid. The details you gave were so accurate that you took us to the World Championship semi-final. How you described the arena, how you described the date, how you described everything. First we started, okay, it might be a normal speech contest or anything. And then soon we came to know that it was a World Championship semi-final. And we were like, then the second thing that I like about you is your facial expressions. Trust me, I cannot do those things. I cannot move my eyebrows, okay, without using my fingers. You can do everything like that. And especially when how good you are between your transition, how you use your pauses. I can see that you don't have enough space to move like horizontally, so you use pauses. So your pauses were amazing for those transitions. Then coming to your vocal variety, kept us intact the whole time. If you especially when you were saying that, that's my seat. And again, there were many other examples for that. The third thing was, the fourth thing I liked was humor. How you could turn the most simplest thing into humor. Seat 3, row 3, speaker 3. How you could put those simple newspapers on a seat. Okay, we do that. We keep our bags on our seat so nobody takes our seat. But again, same thing happens. People take our bags and take the seat away. So that what happened with us. Where could you could improve your speech? Sorry, I cannot do that. But I can definitely give you some points which I would like to learn from you from your next speech. So that I would say is connect with the audience is the most important thing. So what you were telling is Sarfaraz Nazir at his epitome. I would like to know how was Sarfaraz Nazir at his beginning. So everybody could relate here. That struggle in making speech and everything out there. The second thing is at the conversation. Like when you are saying, that's my seat. So again, the woman wouldn't say, okay, come here. There would be a response of that woman too. I would like to hear that. And the third thing I would say is I would like to see how you use pauses without biting your lower lip, which you always do. That's from my side. Thank you.
Great evaluation. Thank you, Toastmaster Wasi Ahmed. And the next speaker was Elvin Fraz. Elvin Fraz will be evaluated by Toastmaster Asghar. If Elvin Fraz is not there, but I'm going to address him. Yes, he is there. Okay, so let's begin. I just thought to say something very bad and you are not here, but I'm not now. I'm going to change my mind. Okay, here is me. Elvin Fraz, let me tell you something which is not exactly related to the content of your today's speech, but related to your evaluator, to me. Your fluency is amazing, and your super confidence, the way you express yourself in the meeting. Let me confess, and confess it unashamedly, that it triggered a jealousy inside me. That due to, of course, my low self-esteem. I mean, it's really sad to note that you are increasingly becoming the darling of Karachi Toastmaster Club, where we have been struggling for years. It's a secret we need to know. As for the content of your speech, we really amazed the way you inspired us by your three tales. But what I like most was your third friend, DTM Sarfaraz Nazir, the way you describe him. And the second one, what I like is the use of your vocabulary, is the descriptive words. You use them, the proverbs. I mean, I just tried to write down, but then I just tired out as to deal this blow. And he wished to stand alone, escape reality, a bitter pill to swallow. Disappointed is a double-edged sword. And then you told something about your third friend being a communicator, and then you said that when life gave you lemon, made a lemonade, and have a little faith. And finally, the way you said we shall overcome, the way you used the English language, the way you deploy the language in your speech is really amazing. I just suggest you that the initial stage crafting is something I think you need to rethink when you said that don't start your time, my timing, and let me wait. And then you say something, your eye contact could have been improved. I think it appeared to me that you were reading something. That's why you were unable to contact or meet your eyes with me. And I not felt valued and loved by you. This is something your evaluator is feeling and confessing. The rest is overall, it was a really good speech. And what I like most in one thing is your descriptive style, your language. And I think it is far better if you want to inspire us, try to have a look on us, sitting in front of you, listening you eagerly. We want to be valued. Thank you. I'm expecting a speech with same vigor next time. This is the end of my evaluation. Now we would like to come our last speaker, Misty Forsman. She will be evaluated by DTM Sarfaraz Nazir. DTM Sarfaraz, the stage is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar. It is my honor to evaluate the speech given by our guest, Misty Forsman. Misty, thank you for entertaining us with music and the sound of music. Let me tell you what I liked about your speech and then give you some suggestions for improving your speech in the future. I liked the music itself, the sound of music, since that was your title. You played the piano. You used props to make sounds. And that brings me to the second reason why I loved your speech. You had a lot of props. The piano itself, the flute, and that little bitty piano from Africa. You had the drumming sounds, had a drum. You also showed us music sheets several times. Within a 7-minute speech, you had a lot of props. And it takes skill and art to put one away and pick up the next one without losing track of the speech. I also like the fact that in addition to the sound music and all your props, you also had a message which came through towards the end of your speech when you talked about the music itself. You can move people with the sound of music. You can emotionally change people with music. You had a speech to entertain us with your music, tell us about the different musical instruments, and then hit us with a message. That was great. How can you improve? The purpose of your speech was use of body language. And the speech you gave did not lend itself, especially since you had to sit down to play the piano and show us the different musical instruments. So this speech would have been better suited for some other project, like give a speech or write a speech with purpose, connect with the audience, or connecting with the audience with the sound of music, that would be much better. Then you open your speech, and then after opening your speech, you started playing the piano. I would personally have liked to see you open the speech by playing the piano. Let us enjoy that sound and then go into your speech. I liked your speech because of all the props that you had, the music you presented, the message that you had within your speech. And if you can improve some body language within that speech and open it by playing the piano, it would be a great speech. Thank you for joining us and giving us that speech. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, GTM Talabin. Thank you, GTM Nadeer, for your speech. I'm sorry.
No, that's
I mean, this Talabin Ahmed gave us so pain that, you know, it's, we are not able to forget him.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't know if what about Talha bin Hamid, what he might think you're calling me his name.
Thank you. With this, now I would like to call the evaluator of our table topic speakers.
Okay, before that, you need to ask the qualification of speech evaluator.
Oh yes, yes. I've all qualified. All speakers have qualified. I
Yes,
hope
all the speech evaluators are qualified. So give me, I'll just take 30 seconds. Okay, you all are requested to please cast your vote for best speech evaluator.
Yes.
I'm sure the polls are in front of you.
It's not. Oh, yes. Why it creating confusion regarding the second best evaluator?
Okay, just ignore that. Just consider the first one.
Okay.
I forgot to delete that.
Okay. So done.
Everyone, please cast your vote. We
Yes,
have
and who is our table topic evaluator? Toastmaster Imran?
Myself.
Okay. ठीक. So then over to you now.
Just a minute. After 10 seconds, then I'll start my table topic evaluation. Thank you so much, everyone, for casting the vote. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asgar. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Alvin Faraz for conducting such a wonderful table topic session. All the topics were quite related and quite amazing. Our first speaker was Toastmaster E.T. Toastmaster E.T. You directly jumped into the topic because the topic was so relatable that it felt like you spoke on the topic quite excitedly. You chose snowman and you turned yourself into a snowman. That was quite amazing. You used the word twice, and that was wonderful, and that was quite encouraging and inspiring. Throughout your speech, you spoke very well and quite relevant to the topic. The only area of suggestion that you could have built up the story on that why did you love that snowman, or maybe you could share some stories from your childhood. So overall, it was a wonderful speech. So please keep delivering table topics. It was quite inspiring. Then we had Toastmaster Kumar and Toastmaster Lydia. So they both were in a win-win situation, because when Toastmaster Kumar had to talk about Mother's Day, I'm sure Toastmaster Lydia must feeling very happy from inside that Toastmaster Kumar was talking about on Mother's Day, and while Toastmaster Lydia when she talked about Father's Day, I'm sure Toastmaster Kumar was feeling quite inspired, feeling quite great. So you both spoke quite well. Your points were quite relevant. You supported both well. Just one suggestion: when there is a conversation between two speakers, then the only confusion area is that the distribution of timing. So either the first speaker speak completely for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and let the second speaker speak for his 2.5 minutes. Overall, you both speak quite well, and they were both you both were inspiring. Some like mothers motivates the leaders. Mothers are behind every success, and you also Toastmaster lady also uses some inspiring words like fathers are responsible for the better contributor to the society. So they were it was quite amazing and quite inspiring. Then we had Toastmaster Asghar, the cricket chacha, and Toastmaster Umair Ahmed, the football uncle. Toastmaster Asghar, what I like about your speech, that you started quite well, that we inherited railway stations, telecommunications, and these all examples. And then you told us that what happened if we inherit cricket as well. So it was quite amazing and quite humorous, since the strong point of your speeches are your humor. So the humor was overall it was quite great. I thoroughly loved your speech. Whereas Toastmaster Umair Ahmed, what I love about your speech, that you were composed, calm. You responded Toastmaster Asghar's points quite well, especially when Toastmaster Asghar told us that football is a quite expensive game. Then you gave an example that many footballers they give donation generously. So both of you supported your point of views quite well, and it was quite amazing, and I thoroughly loved your speeches. And finally, we had Toastmaster Urusa. So, today, Toastmaster Urusa, I found her speech quite composed, calm. Her pace was what I would suggest. I suggested her in her last table topic speech that sometimes you speak quite fast. So today her pace was perfect. You uh, tackled the topic quite well, and you gave some amazing and interesting suggestions that how would you like to be your spend the 16th September in a way, the way you want to. So I thoroughly loved your speech, especially you took pauses, you were calm and composed. So keep doing that, because you have amazing things to discuss. Due to sometimes due to rush, you don't express them. So today you expressed it. So congratulations on that. Overall, the whole table topic session was quite amazing, quite interesting, and quite humorous. So congratulations to all the speakers and the table topic master. With that, I would like to hand over the charge back to the general evaluator. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Imran Rana, for evaluating table topic speeches. And thank you above all to praise me, including all speakers. Now we are going towards the end of our session, and it's time for the roll holder to submit their report. I think the first one is grammarian with me. And as a grammarian, I would like to submit my report, the word master of the day. I also had a word master of the day. Today's word is ergo. Ergo means therefore. Only Alvin, Sarfraz Nazir, and used the word of the day. Abdullah also used it. Abdullah, I'm sorry if you are around. Abdullah also used the word of the day. And now going to some good usage, I pointed out Afi and Buffy used by DTM Sarfraz Nazir. I vowed the audience. I had the power to change the outcome. There were some very good sentences Toastmaster DTM Sarfraz Nazir mentioned in his speech, and we are vibration, music is everywhere, we are the music, and then to deal this blow, he wished to stand alone, used by Alvin, escaped reality, a bitter pill to swallow, and then when life gave you lemon, made lemonade. These are some of the good usage of the language expressed by Toastmasters. Next role was from our counter. I think we don't have our counter today, Imran Rana. We don't have any other role holder today. If I'm not...
The our counter just left. You may ask for the listener report.
Listener report, yes. And who is our listener today?
Toastmaster Vase Ahmed.
Toastmaster Vase, okay.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So, two people were commuting during the meeting. Name those two people.
Commuting
during the meeting.
Toastmaster Vase and Toastmaster Mufaddal Murtaza.
So that means I could hardly make it to Toastmaster Sarfraz's speech till. I just got to home exactly at that time when Toastmaster Sarfraz was about to start giving his speech.
Toastmaster Vase is not only checking our listening skills, but he's also testing our observational skills as well.
Exactly. Okay, so who used the props during his speech?
Misty Frotman, something.
Yes. Who used the example of duck in his speech?
Come again.
Who used the example of duck in his speech? Duck.
DTM Sarfraz Nazir.
Right. DTM Sarfraz Nazir was from which state during the speech? Someone was telling. So, from which state did he belong to at that time?
Solid state.
Nice. But I guess Miami, Florida would do it. Miami, Florida. Okay. So, yeah. What was the objective of Toastmaster Alvin's speech? What was the objective of Toastmaster Alvin's speech?
To inspire audience.
Yes.
Okay.
Who knows better than the evaluator? Who knows better than the evaluator? What was the title of Toastmaster Sumpah Akhtar's speech?
Global inclusion, the power of abilities and with disabilities.
These were the ones which I could make up. Thank you. General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, listener. And now we have come for now with few observation. I would like to leave my session, but let me observe for a couple of something. DTM Sarfraz Nazir said something very interesting, and you know it struck me somewhere. 6:30 is a reference. It is not a time for a Toastmaster club to start. You know, this virtually stopped me that we are late today. We are not late. We are around 6:30 because we were not supposed to be there at 6:30. We are supposed to be there around 6:30. And when I used around, we were there. We were on time. And why there was no physical meeting today? I mean, it's something which, you know, surprised me. there's nobody over there in Beach Luxury Hotel. I hope everything is okay there in Karachi. And it is something intrigued me. Toastmaster Imran Rana can say about it. And what I like in today's speech is the limited number of speakers, and then the expended time for the table topic session. I think we all felt valued, loved, unlike what Alvan is doing to me. And this is something, I would like to say goodbye from me, and I would like to hand over the charge to the Toastmaster of the evening, DTM Safraz. The stage is now yours, and thank you from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar, for conducting our evaluation section. The speech I gave today on the speaking order is the first time I've given this speech. And the reason was simple. We recently had a panel discussion on what it takes to win the International Speech Contest. And as Toastmaster Imran Rana mentioned, that on Sunday, KTC is conducting the speech contest. The message of my speech was, you cannot control things that are beyond your control, like speaking order. And also the judges. Judges are human beings. No matter how many training sessions they go through, they are human beings. If you give a great speech, and after the results have been announced, and you do not find yourself in the top 3, the question is not, hey, what happened? No, forget the judges. Just think, did you do your best? And then what can you do next time? Many times in speeches in KTC or in District 122, in some of the speech contests, I've heard the speaker say, I'm going to tell you a short story, or I'm going to tell you a story. No, that's extra words, redundant. You don't need to say that. If you're telling a story, simply start your story. The audience is smart enough to know that you're telling a story. Also notice that sometimes people use a quotation, which is fine, but before telling us the quote, they say, I'm going to tell you a quote. Again, no. There is no need to tell us that what you are telling us. Simply state the quote, and we, the audience, will know that it was a quote. The best thing is, instead of using someone else's quote, make up your own quote. Say something worthwhile that people remember it as a quote, and they will quote you in their speeches. Also, when it comes to story, no, don't tell a story from some children's book or someone else's life. Tell your story, who you are when you finish your speech. And if you cannot tell your story, it simply means that you do not know who you are. These are a few simple lessons I want to pass on. And the reason I'm doing that is because look at the number of DTMs. And I've already completed all 11 pathways. So what should I do? And as I think about my life, think, hey, it's time that before I leave, I should pass on some of the knowledge that I've gained in my life. And with that note, I'm going to turn the control of the meeting to our presiding officer. Thank you, fellow Toastmaster, for joining us today.
Okay, thank you so much. Our president had to leave due to her urgent work. Okay, before winding up the meeting, I would like to request everyone to please cast your vote for the best pick 4 through private chat, as Zoom polls are not working. But I had the results. So the best prepared speaker of today's meeting goes to Toastmaster Alvin Faraz. Toastmaster Alvin, congratulations on that. Best speech evaluator, we have DTM Sarfraz. Congratulations, DTM Sarfraz. The critics' choice for best speaker goes to third place winner is Toastmaster Alvin Faraz. The second place winner is the icebreaker Toastmaster Abdullah. And the first place goes to Distinguished Toastmaster Sarfraz Nazir. So congratulations on that. So if you have, please, if you have casted your vote for the best Big Four, let's take few seconds. I request everyone to please cast your vote for the best Big Four.
Can I say until everyone is casting the vote?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
My message is very simple to Toastmaster Asghar. Please do not feel bad. Next time I'm going to write a poem for you. I will value you.
I should be the one who should feel bad because I'm your mentor and you did not.
So no poems for
No
anyone
worries.
in the next go. One feels happy, the rest feels sad.
No, it was quite amazing and quite inspiring. The whole rhyme was beautiful. Okay, so we have best Big Four, and today's best Big Four is Distinguished Toastmaster Sarfraz Nazir as Toastmaster of the day. So with that, we are adjourned this meeting, and I request everyone. Sunday is not so far, so be there for to support your favorite all the speakers, and you will I'm sure you will love all the speeches and overall all the contests. So I request everyone, those who can come physically, please come with their friends and with their families, and those who join us online, please do join us. Thank you so much once again. Bye for now. We will rejoin on the same day. Yes,
Toastmaster Imran Rana, according to the agenda, the conclusion was supposed to take place at 9 o'clock with 5 minutes. That means the meeting was supposed to end at 9:05, and it is 9:04.
Standing ovation for that. Standing ovation for that.
We may start late, but we end on time.
Let's stand, everyone.
Okay. And
Thank
I
you
would,
so much, everyone.
I want to
So-
encourage everyone to please join us for the International Speech Contest, especially as a contestant if you have qualified, I mean, a member in good standing, and must have completed 2 levels of any pathway. Have a nice day and a nice week. See you Sunday.
Okay, Allah Hafiz, goodbye, good morning, or wherever you are. Over to you.